Denise Richards, we are so excited to have you.
My big break was when I got Starship Troopers. That was the thing that changed my career. There was so much written in the tabloids about me that was so negative.
In that moment, they were constantly villainizing the woman.
Why do you think they turned on you?
They tried to insinuate that I cheated on him and had an affair, which was really, really shitty.
It's the wild, wild west out there. Denise Richards, so many moments that you've had that we'll go over in the show. We are so excited to have you.
Thank
Michael
you.
Taylor, don't get too excited.
Listen.
They might have had posters on their wall.
Oh,
It's possible.
oh, thank
If I
you.
go
If
back
you
to-
did, thank you.
Yeah. If I go back to the younger me.
Yeah. I
sure.
think like while we were dating when we were 12, he might have had posters. I'm not
Well,
joking.
that makes me feel really old, but thank you.
No, you should feel iconic. It's amazing.
I feel very flattered. Thank you.
We're very
Got it.
excited to have you on the mic. Obviously, everyone already knows you who's listening, but just give a little overview for anyone maybe who doesn't.
I've done a lot of different movies, TV shows. Some of the movies that people might recognize me from are Starship Troopers. I was a Bond girl. I was in Wild Things. Those are, I think, and Drop Dead Gorgeous. Those are the movies that I think that people recognize me from. And then television, reality world especially, I would say from Housewives of Beverly Hills was the last reality show that I did before ours.
When you were a little girl, did you always know you wanted to get in the entertainment business?
As a little girl, even though I grew up in Illinois and I didn't grow up around the industry, I always wanted to be an actress. I didn't know how it would be because we didn't live in Hollywood or anything like that, but I knew that I always wanted to act.
And were your parents in tune with that? Did they know?
I think so. Yeah.
So what was the first moment that you dipped your toe in the acting pond?
We moved to California when I was a teenager. My dad got a job transfer, and I started modeling when I was 15 years old. And I was taking drama classes, acting classes in high school. And then I started modeling after I graduated high school, and I knew that acting was something that I really wanted to do. And so I just started taking acting classes. I was lucky enough to get an agency right away and just started building up my resume, doing small parts. Doogie Howser and Saved by the Bell were the TV shows that got me my SAG card, and I had one line or two lines in each show. So that's what got my SAG card. So I just started, pounding the pavement.
And what's the first hit?
Well, I did a few pilots. They did not go.
For television or?
For television.
Okay.
And a pilot, for those of people that don't know that, it's just shooting an episode. There was always this pilot season back then. Now it seems like it's all year long because all the different streaming platforms. But when I started out, there was a certain time of the year where it was pilot season, and we would shoot an episode. And then if the network picked it up, then it turned into a series for the season. And I did a few of those. One was for the creators from Married with Children. That, all these did not go. One was with Aaron Spelling, and all of us thought, oh, we got the next Melrose 90210 show. Didn't go. And it was just, so I think my big break was when I got Starship Troopers, because we were all unknowns pretty much, except for Michael Ironside and Clancy. They had obviously worked more than any of us actors, but it was like the first movie where I was like, oh, it's going to be in, we were like, oh, it's going to be in the movie theater.
That was a great movie, by
That
the way.
was a great movie. I
Thank
remember
you.
my dad took me to that, and my mom got mad.
It was a
'cause
violent
I
movie.
think
It was
like,
violent. Paul Verhoeven directed it, and it was with and we're all still, most of us are still friends from the cast, and it was just it took 6 months to shoot, and it was just, that was my my break into being in the business, really. Even though I was doing little jobs that no one knew I was in, that was the thing that changed my career.
When you're in that movie and you're as beautiful as you are, is there a line out the door of guys that want to date you? How does that work?
I don't
Or are they
know.
intimidated?
I don't know.
When you look like that and you're on that movie?
I'm not thinking about that. I'm thinking about, oh my gosh, I'm in a movie.
They were thinking about you.
Well,
Trust me.
I'm not thinking about that, but thank you for saying it. But I'm just thinking I'm so excited. I've worked so hard after all these acting classes and all the rejection and everything. I got a movie that people are going to maybe see.
I think it's so important to hear you say that you got rejected so many times because so many people make it look so effortless getting into Hollywood, and it is so much rejection, and that's hard, but it almost seems like it becomes like reps. Like you just start to kind of get used to it and go through it to get to the other side.
Yeah, you do. And people that ask me that are starting out, my advice is always just, if this is your passion, keep going. And all the rejection, that it takes one job to change your career. And it's worth it. It's worth the rejection. And it is hard. It is not easy to be told no so many times. When I did first start, my first week of auditioning was for Saved by the Bell, which was such a popular show back when I started out, and Doogie Howser. And I thought, oh gosh, this is great. But then, months of rejection after that. So it wasn't easy.
No, I can't imagine. It's a lot.
When your career started taking off, were there any roles that you turned down that you regret turning down?
I don't regret turning them down. I did turn down different roles that when you do see it come out, you're like, oh. I always like to say, like, I don't have any regrets because I feel that different choices bring you where you're supposed to be and what's meant to be. And, things are learning lessons too. But, there were a lot that I turned down, and there were a lot and some that I did do that I was like, I shouldn't have done that too.
So is it maybe one that came out that you're like, oh, that would have been cool if I did that one?
Yes, and I never stay.
Yeah, it's a secret, Michael. You'll have to go back and watch some old movies. When you found out that you were going to become a Bond girl, were you freaking out, or did you not understand what gravity?
I didn't understand the gravity of being a Bond girl. I auditioned for it, and then I flew to London. They screen tested a few actresses with Pierce Brosnan, and we all flew to London, and then we did our screen test, and then we went back where we all lived, and it was like a week or so later when they let me know that I got the part. I have said this before in interviews. I hadn't seen at that time a Bond movie.
Ever?
At that time when I auditioned, I didn't. So I didn't understand. I remember asking my agent, why am I on the news for a movie? Because at that point I had done Starship Troopers and Wild Things, and I think I did Drop Dead Gorgeous, or it was after, I can't remember, but I didn't understand why it was news. And he was like, do you understand that you're in a Bond movie? And I quickly knew and learned. So then I saw some movies. So.
When you were in that movie, is there anything that you had to do to prep, or were you just already in shape, ready to go, didn't have to do anything?
So I got the part. I screen tested. I'll never forget it because it was Thanksgiving, and my dad came with me to go to London to screen test because our family is always together on Thanksgiving. So my dad came with me, and then I remember we started filming in January in London and until June, and the movie came out in November. So it was quick.
Oh, wow. That is fast.
And so what happens when it comes out and the fans see it?
It's a whirlwind. It is a whirlwind.
Could you even go out to
a
dinner?
Month of promoting the movie. As soon as it's coming out, you're flying to whatever country, landing, doing press conferences, doing a junket, going to the premiere, and then you go on to the next country. And that was one of the most wonderful things about that movie was I got to see the world. I got to meet all these fans that were fans of such an iconic franchise, and to be part of that. And it was really a very humbling and wonderful time that I'll never forget.
You seem like you have a really special relationship with your dad.
I do.
Yeah, I've seen your show, your first show.
Thank you.
I read your book, and it seems like he's very important to you, and that's so sweet to hear that he like went with you.
Yeah.
It's really cute.
Thank you.
Have you guys always been like that?
I've always been close to my dad.
Yeah, and you still are.
I am.
He seems really special and sweet.
Thank you.
He's adorable.
He is.
Yeah.
We're very close. He's such a good dad and a great grandpa. Even, he always, I was telling my older daughters who are 19 and 20, when they think I'm being overprotective, I'm like, you never stop worrying as a parent. My dad's never going to stop worrying about me either, even though I'm a grown-ass woman. It's just the way it is when you're a parent. So we're very close and we'll always be close.
After you finished the Bond movie, how did you decide like what the next move was? Because I can imagine it's like you went to the moon. How do you know what to do next?
It's hard. It's the thing too with when you are, the thing that I say with, you go from people not knowing who you are, and when people say, oh, things happen overnight, you can work your butt off in the business of doing jobs and people don't see them and this and that. It takes one job that changes your career, but that's also the job sometimes the changes were, people will recognize you at the grocery store or at the airport and stuff like that. So that's the thing I think is overnight, where it goes from no one knowing who you are to all of a sudden people recognizing you. And I think that's something that is a little intimidating too, and different. But I think, having a team in place, and, it's not easy figuring out what should I do next, or, whatever movie or TV show. It's just part of it.
What was after it?
I cannot remember
Oh
what
my
I
gosh.
did right after.
Taylor, we have to pull
I
it up.
didn't know if it was Drop Dead Gorgeous was before or after. I can't remember.
I'm going to guess it was after, if my
I
memory
think it was
serves me.
after too.
I think.
After doing all this, why decide to go on Housewives? I'm always
That's
curious.
way later.
No, I
We're
know
not
it's
to
way later.
Housewives yet.
No, I
we
know
got
it's
a
later.
lot more to go.
No, we could. But I'm just.
That's a way later.
But I'm just wondering, like, what? Because were you doing the movies and then
Why
going
would
to-
I do a reality
Yeah,
show
I'm just
like
wondering,
that?
like, the thought process.
I had a friend at the time that was on the show, and her experience was really, she had such a positive experience. And also, over the years, the business has changed. It used to be when I started out acting, if you did movies, you didn't do television.
You did, like, one or the other.
Yeah, and it's so wonderful that then over the years that changed. That you can do movies, you could do television, you can do reality, you could do all that. So the business has changed a lot too, and because of my friend that was on The Housewives had such a great experience, and I had been approached for reality shows and that too, I thought, why not? This could be fun and something different.
You also were sort of a pioneer with reality television because of your show.
The
first one. Like, I feel like you kind of did it before the Kardashians.
The Kardashians had already filmed a couple seasons, 1 or 2 seasons before I did. And it was Ryan Seacrest who did Kardashians too, who did our show. And at the time for that, though, I will say, I went through so much with my divorce from Charlie that it affected my career. And I had a hard time actually getting a job because people perceived me as someone that was trying to take down Charlie Sheen, who was on this big show, and it was the network and studio, and it was a different time.
No, but that was
the way
wild.
things were.
Like, even like not obviously we're not actively participating, but he was all over the place during that time.
Yeah, and it was hard. So I also had 2 daughters. I didn't have Eloise at the time, and I had to work.
So what'd you do?
I did my reality show,
and then you just...
And then it changed. Then I was able to get back to working as an actress again, because I just had to be myself on that show, because there was so much written in the tabloids about me that was so negative. And I wasn't one that, if you say stuff, it creates another story. So sometimes it's better to just be quiet and let that story go away. But there were so many stories that was really difficult when I was going through my divorce. And, so I did make the decision. Ryan Seacrest approached me to do a reality show, and I was nervous about it. I was hesitant because I thought, oh my gosh, to put my life out there even more than what it is. And my mom, before she passed, she's the one that actually encouraged me to do it. She's like, you just need to do it and just be yourself. And I'm glad that I did. And it actually helped the perception of whatever people thought about me. And of course, there's always the people that still have negative feelings or think something bad about me, whatever. But at least I got to be myself without trying to defend myself in a tabloid. I just got to be myself on a TV show.
I think it humanized you. And I think in that moment, they were constantly villainizing the woman. If you look back on all the divorces at that time, it always was the woman's fault. Like, they just went to the woman.
Do you think that's because like Hollywood was rallying around him to protect the franchise that he was working on?
Absolutely.
And so it was like, we got to not let this guy go down.
Mm-hmm.
It was like the golden boy that they were protecting, which doesn't really fly anymore, I feel like.
Well, and then years after that, unfortunately, with Charlie going through the downfall that he did have on the show, people saw what was really happening. I couldn't say that though at that time. It wasn't my place to. But it was a different time, and it was of course I understood that they were protecting. This was before even like all this. This was right before all the streaming stuff was starting. This was like network television, which was a conservative show network. So of course they wanted to protect him, and I got it. I understood it, even though I didn't love it.
How
it was
did you
not
first
easy.
meet him? Did you guys get set up by someone, or did you naturally
We met on
meet?
a job.
On a job?
Yeah.
Which, was it a movie?
It was a movie called Good Advice. We met on that, and then over a year later, I did a few episodes of Spin City. He took over for Michael J. Fox.
I remember that.
And so I did an arc on that show. And that's when he and I really started to get to know each other. And
did you like him right away or no?
When I met him the first time? Yeah. I had a boyfriend at the first time I met him. I was always a fan of his work, and I liked him. I wasn't romantic.
You just liked him as a friend.
Yeah. I liked him as a human being and like as an actor, and I admired his work and all of that. So it wasn't like, oh, love at first sight. It wasn't that. It was more about being, very respectful and admiring him as an actor.
Well, I think one thing that's been so cool for me to watch is that the whole time everything's gone on in the media, you're always so complimentary and of him and supportive, even though you always seem like you're supporting your girl's father. It's an undertone, and in your book, when you wrote about him, you sounds like you guys have really nice memories when you first met. How he wined and dined you in the beginning, and it seemed like he was very charismatic. It seems like he has a great side.
I wouldn't have married him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Things went a little sideways, but you're a mom.
Yeah.
So I always wanted to be respectful and support him as their dad. No matter what's going on behind the scenes, I did my best to try to keep it as private as possible. And there was many times it wasn't. But at the end of the day, I always wanted my girls to have the best relationship that they could with their dad, because I have such an amazing relationship with my dad. And I wanted Charlie to always be the best version of himself, to be the best dad that he can, and I'll always support that. So I never wanted to shit on anything.
You've done a good job of that.
Well, thank you.
I'm sure it has not been easy. And it's not like one of those things where you can call a friend and ask for advice, because what you're going through is so unique.
Well, people forget maybe now they forget how big Charlie Sheen was back in the day. I mean, like
there was a
up there.
lot of tabloids and publicity and paparazzi around all the time, and trying to navigate all that. And believe me, I can't even think of one, like when you say regrets. I don't have regrets. Did I maybe at times say something I shouldn't have or do this? Of course. I don't know specifically, but I know, when you go through a divorce as it is, it's so hard. But then to go through something so public is awful. Not that you want anyone to pity on you. It's not that at all. It's just like trying to navigate everything.
No, but there was that period of time when you guys were going through that where you were in and he was in a story pretty much every day. Like it was just for I don't know how, for like months.
A couple years.
Yeah. I remember it was a long time. You just it was endless.
When you became a mother in Hollywood, how did your life change when you had your 2 girls?
What do you mean?
Like when you got pregnant, I'm pregnant right now, so I'm just wondering how you maybe balanced it all. You're having a baby.
I think your life changes when you become a parent, no matter whether you're in Hollywood or if you live where I grew up in Illinois.
Right.
I think becoming a parent, your life changes. And any working parent, you have to balance it. If you do want to work, it's a balance. Or if you choose to be a stay-at-home mom, I think no matter what job we do as a parent, it's trying to juggle that.
Sacrifice.
I had never looked at it as sacrifice. I always looked at it as sometimes, unorganized chaos, or sometimes one thing gives and one thing's balance. There was a period of quite a few years when you're in the thick of it with the younger ones, where it's like something is like off balance, like maybe you're not able to have date night when you want to, or maybe if you do, then someone's watching the kids that night. So then it's like a constant, trying to balance everything. And I just finally was able to let go with that and say, it's okay that everything's not balanced. It's okay.
So you surrendered.
Yeah. And my advice too with parents is I think it's so important to have the couple remain a couple too.
Yeah.
And my husband now, he came into my life when the youngest, she was 4 years old, Eloise, and now she's 13. And that's her dad. She's my youngest that I adopted. I always say, and my older girls were younger teenagers, is we would do one night a week a month where we would do like a staycation somewhere so that we could have our alone time. Even if we were at our place and they went somewhere, or, if some people can't afford to go to a hotel, I get that. If you're able to even lock the room and say they went for the night and you sneak back in your room and they don't know. Do you know what I mean?
5 minutes, whatever it takes.
No, even if you tell your kids we're leaving for the night, and if people can't afford to like go to a hotel or somewhere and you sneak back in and the door's locked and they don't know you're in there, just to have that couple time, even if you're just watching TV and connecting or having romance, whatever it is, I always am such a big advocate of the couple having the time together, because without this, that can fall to shit sometimes.
It does. I feel like if you don't stay connected, it's not good for the kids.
It's not.
No.
It's good for the kids to know that mom and dad, or mom and mom, or dad and dad, we're here, and then, you guys have to understand and respect that we also have to have our time too.
How did
put the old sock on the door?
whatever it takes. I don't know what it's like having sex with me right now. It's like an old sow on her.
No.
Yeah.
It's not the most fun thing in the world.
Oh my God.
No, but first time around, I was like, I had to get used to it. Then second time, and now third time, I'm like, all right.
Wait, okay. When you say you have to get used to it, you mean having sex with her while she's pregnant?
I didn't know the first time. I didn't want to hurt someone.
Because you didn't want to hurt the baby.
Yeah, I didn't know anything.
I get it.
Now I realize
his dick is so big that it was touching the baby, poking the baby.
It's gonna poke the baby's head.
So huge.
I was like, the baby's gonna come out deformed. No.
Oh my God.
And what happened the second time?
No, then I'm like, okay, second time, I'm fine. Now I'm fine.
You're fine.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Now what about
third time's a charm?
Third time's a charm.
That's good.
I'm so happy for you that you feel confident now.
Yeah. It's so nice to meet you, Denise. I'm glad
it's nice to meet you too. And I do think you guys should do like once a month, do a little, just even one night or a day, whatever.
I can't wait for you to see what you plan. this month.
I can't wait either.
It's
Right
Valentine's Day, by the way. Don't forget. It's
right
coming
now,
up.
our 2 kids are in the hotel. We're all in the hotel. We're 5 days in a hotel with 2 kids under 4.
Yeah,
it's
that's
interesting.
It's a lot, but that's,
it is a lot.
Like you said, it's unorganized chaos.
Exactly.
Yeah. Why and how did you decide to adopt Eloise? Tell us about that process.
I always wanted more kids.
Okay.
And I always wanted to adopt too. And then, after my divorce, I thought, I don't want to wait for another partner for me to have another child. So I decided to go through the adoption process on my own. And I heard it could be 6 months. I heard it could be 3 years. And I thought, well, if someone comes into my life during that time, then we'll do it together. And if not, I'm adopting on my own.
And so what happened? How long?
I adopt on my own. A year and a half.
Year and a half.
Yeah.
And what is it like when you adopt a baby? I mean, for someone that has no idea.
Yeah.
Do they call you and say, hey, come pick her up?
Oh, no. Well, it depends on the situation.
And does a stork drop the baby at the door?
No, the stork doesn't drop the baby off. It depends on the situation. I think in some situations they could call and say that there's a baby, you have to go through a long process of, it's a process. In my situation, I was, knew Eloise was going to be born about 5 months prior to her birth.
Oh, that's cool. So you had 5 months to plan.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so then you get her right when she's a brand new baby.
Mm-hmm.
Did you name her after Eloise at the plaza?
No, I've always loved the name Eloise.
Beautiful.
But I asked Sam and Lola, they loved the name too because we had the book too. But I've always loved that name.
My daughter had an Eloise birthday party.
She's obsessed with Eloise.
And it was so fun. She had the little hotel dingers on the
There's
table.
a lot of wonderful things because actually Eloise's baby shower after she was born was Eloise themed.
Oh, cute.
There's so many wonderful things that you can have with the name Eloise.
It's the most beautiful name. I love it.
Thank you.
And then Sophia Richie just named her baby Eloise too.
Oh, she did?
She did.
Oh.
So after your first reality show ends, what is the gap between that and Real Housewives? What were you working on?
Quite a few
them?
years. I did different movies, TV shows. I was on a lot of different things. And then Housewives came 2018.
Okay.
I did my first season.
And
on
they
Housewives.
wanted you for a long time, I feel like. Your name was always on the... I always feel like Andy Cohen was wanting you.
So this time... With this, I was friends with Lisa Rinna.
Yeah.
And I asked her, I said, I think I'm ready. And so I met with them.
You gotta be ready.
And it was great. We had a great first season.
And then how many seasons were you on?
I was on 2 seasons. And then I've done a few episodes after I've been off the show. Because I'm still friends with a lot of the women on the show.
What is the process like? Is it as grueling as it seems, or are they editing it up?
Wait, what do you mean the process?
It just means
like filming the show,
fighting, the women, the throwing.
My first season, I was like,
what is
this? Is why people make fun of me. I was a deer in headlights. I mean, my first trip was to the Bahamas, which was my second day of filming, I believe, on The Housewives. Second or third day, I'm leaving for the Bahamas with these women that I didn't know. And I was really nervous. And I told my husband, I said, I think I need to look at this like I'm going on location. I only know Lisa Rinna. I met a couple of the other women, but I didn't know the women enough to go on hey, let's all go on a trip together. So it was intimidating for me. And I went there and going to the Bahamas, I don't know about you, but I don't bring fancy clothes to a tropical area.
You want to relax.
I want to relax. So
okay.
I apparently brought the wrong wardrobe being a housewife. And they certainly let me know that. I was the ragamuffin on the show.
Who called you that again?
Kyle. And I'm sure the others did, but maybe they didn't air their comments about it. I'm sure they've called me much worse.
No, I am a Housewives watcher. I watch all the shows and seasons. I wish I knew you because I would have sent you a PowerPoint presentation of what everyone...
How to win?
Not like win. It's not a win. I think it's just how to come in. But
I don't want to do that, though.
That's what I was just going to say. What I liked as a viewer about you is I found it endearing.
Lauren watches all these shows, different kinds of shows, and she thinks she can like either win them or
no, it's
like...
not. I just, this is my vice. I like to watch Housewives.
Like she fully thinks she could win The Bachelorette, The Bachelor.
I could win The Bachelor. She like, The Bachelor.
She thinks there's like the strategy.
There is a strategy to that.
No, the producers, they're going to do their thing.
I might outproduce the producers.
I think a lot of people think that.
I found it endearing.
Have you gone on Traders? Maybe you should go on that.
I've never gone on anything.
No, she just goes. She like yells at the TV and has interest. I would teach them how to do. I don't
yell. I just give notes. I found it endearing that you were like this amazing actress that's so beautiful, that does have access to all the clothes and the makeup and the hair, and you came on as yourself. So the housewives that were saying like, "What are you wearing?" Like, you already have had all that. Do you know what I mean? You've already been there, done that.
Well, when I met with the producers before I did the show, I'll never forget I was wearing jeans and a Guns N' Roses t-shirt.
Casual.
And I said, this is how I am at home. You guys have seen me on the red carpet, at events, this, and this. I said, I'll do that, but if you want, or do you want me to be myself at home? And they said, we want you to be you. So at home, I'm not wearing glam at home.
Some people are on the show.
Some people are. Well.
Or are they?
I don't know.
We don't know.
But I just like, I'm not sometimes I wish I would wear glam to the grocery store, because when there's paparazzi, I'm like, well, shit, why'd they take that fucking picture?
I know, but it's so
Do you know what I mean?
uncomfortable.
I know, but it's always like, I'm like, how come they don't see me when I'm coming home from like this
hopefully
or
they
whatever.
catch you on the way out.
Yeah, and maybe I'll go to the grocery store and see.
Go to the grocery store.
And that's the other thing. Who calls paparazzi?
Oh my God!
I mean, they're everywhere. You don't need to fucking call. I'm sorry for
you
swearing
can cuss.
on here.
Are you kidding? It's been done.
It's been done before many times.
Mouth.
No, go for it. Swear away.
Thank you. But I'm just like, it's like they always catch me when I look my worst. But that was the thing when I did Housewives. I wanted to be myself. I didn't, for better or worse, you know, that's how I went into it.
I liked that though.
Well, thank you for saying that.
Yeah, I think, and I actually think the viewers like it too. The viewers can spot when something feels
off.
Yeah, inauthentic. They can see, and then the producers take that and make a mockery of it, kind of. Like you can see when someone's not being themselves. So I like that about you.
I think sometimes though it's the other women sometimes take it and say things and try to instigate a little tiff or whatever.
They're looking for a breadcrumb.
I think some viewers liked that but I think some viewers were like, oh, we wanted her to come on all glam or whatever. I just felt to be glam when I would be glam in real life, like a red carpet or an event or something.
I think you can't win. You know what I mean?
If that's why I wanted to be myself. Because at least I could say, well, I was myself. If I did try to self-produce or do something or dress a certain way just to, appease an audience, then that's where I think, for me, it wouldn't be good for me.
And I feel like in Housewives, like everyone starts out like that, and then they evolve into their glam.
Well, my second season, I did do more glam, and some of the women did shit on me about that. And I told them, I'm like, well, look, I saw myself on TV, and I'm like, maybe I should like spruce up a little bit. I don't want to look like shit the entire season.
Well, also
you know what
when
I mean?
you're next to like going to the Met Ball.
Well, with Erica Jane, like always,
it's
and
like
Dorit, I'm like, I don't want to always look like a rag of fucking muffin. So I'll like spruce up a little bit, and they gave me shit for that too. But whatever.
This is the tool I wish I had to help me manage my supplement routine years ago. Enter Supco. This has solved a problem with their Trust Score quality rating system that helps users understand which brands they can trust. So many of you guys have asked, me and Michael, which vitamins should I take? And I think it's definitely something that you have to go on a journey with. You have to do research and you have to look into it. That's why I love to have founders on our podcast to talk all about the efficacy and the traceability of supplements. But this app is just going to help you. What I like about it is supplements should improve your health. It shouldn't confuse you. And I think that a lot of people just don't feel confident in their protocol, and this can really, really help you. Supco is the first of its kind supplement companion app with a simple mission: make supplements work for you. Here's all you have to do. Stack up your supplements, so add the products that you already take, answer a few questions, and then Supco will analyze your routine and give you actionable tips. Everything is designed to improve your routine. If you don't have your own stack yet, though, Supco has over 80 supplement plans to help you reach your goal. So if you want to improve your energy, reduce brain fog, gut health, hormone support, they have it all. Supco is currently in beta, and users can get 100% free access. All you need to do is go to sup.co/skinny. Show listeners will also get early access to Supco's founding membership when it launches in early 2025. sup.co/skinny. About a year ago, I launched a co-brand with RHOBH. So I did like depuffing drops, and they were amazing. You put them in your water, and it was a total hit. I think it sold out really, really quickly. And it's just a testament to how much I love the brand RHOBH. With every launch that they have, I'm so excited about, but this one is like my jam. I've been talking about creatine and loving creatine for the last 2 years. Ivanka Trump and I talked about how we both take creatine on her episode. And RHOBH launched not only a creatine, 5 grams, they launched a gummy. It's called RHOBH Tone. It's the first supplement that supports lean sculpted muscles and enhances your workout performance with creatine. It's formulated for women, which is really unique. A lot of these creatines are formulated for men. I like this one too because it has ginger root in it for antioxidant protection. They taste so good. They come in the cutest package. RHOBH thought of every single point. They thought of the packaging. They thought of the product. They thought of, obviously, the creatine. And then they also put this thing called Slim Biotics in it. So it really helps you optimize your body composition. I've been taking this pregnant. Obviously, check with your own doctor if you're pregnant, but I've had a really great experience with it. You can take up to 3 to 4 a day. It's now available on their site. It's called RHOBH Tone. So go to RHOBH.com and use code SKINNY at checkout to receive 15% off and 4 free bloat travel packs with your first purchase or auto ship order. That's RHOBH.com, code SKINNY.
Let's talk about Armra Colostrum. What if I were to tell you that there is something out there that can strengthen your immune system, fortify your gut health, ignite your metabolism, vitalize your hair growth, and enhance your skin radiance? Well, it's out there, and it's called Armra Colostrum. Lauren and I have been taking Armra for years now, ever since we had the founder of Armra on this podcast to talk about all of the benefits, which is a bioactive whole food that was not only physician developed, but physician founded. It's not a formula. It is not processed. It's pure, potent, natural, and clean, and it's readily available for anyone in the family. We give it to our children, we give it to our dogs, we take it ourselves. What I love about Armra is you can just take a little simple scoop and add it to any beverage of your choice, or you can actually just scoop it directly into your mouth. It tastes a bit like a milk dud. So what exactly is Armra Colostrum? Armra Colostrum revives cellular signaling, bolstering our health from within to defend against everyday threats. Colostrum is nature's first whole food with over 400 bioactive nutrients that work at the cellular level to reactivate your body's innate capacity to regenerate and thrive in today's environment. Like I said, we've been taking it for years now. We absolutely love it. If you're curious for more detail, just search Armra Colostrum Skinny Confidential and listen to the episode we did with their founder. Of course, we've worked out a special offer for our audience. Receive 15% off your first order. Go to tryarmra.com/skinny or enter skinny to get 15% off your first order. That's tryarmra.com/skinny. Receive 15% off your first order. Go to tryarmra.com/skinny or enter skinny to get 15% off your first order. That's tryarmra.com/skinny.
When you go into all these trips with the women, is that a lot of stress? You're away from your house. There's alcohol. They're all drinking. They're fighting. It's like, it seems like a lot.
How many kids do you have?
I have 2. I'm going to
have
3.
a third.
Yeah.
Coming.
Yeah.
Sometimes work is like a little vacation.
That work?
I'm saying sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes.
Okay.
It's like you're, when the kids are going to be calling you, you're like, mommy's away. I'm a little too far. Go call dad.
Go call a friend.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
There's sometimes like all of us, it's not, I don't mean to sound bad with this. It's any
It's
mom
honest.
or dad will say like, it's sometimes kind of nice. I'll tell you the trips. Listen, I only did 2 seasons where I had the 2 trips. It's a nice thing to have a group of women be able to go away. You go to a beautiful place. You get to have these wonderful dinners, even if you're fighting about God knows what at some table at some fucking dinner. It's something you'll never forget. And these are memories too that I will never forget.
Yeah.
It really, truly, even if some of them were crazy and hard for me, some of them were great. I have had a lot of laughter, and all the other women too. There's something nice and nostalgic about that brings you back, like when you were younger and you got to go on a girls' trip before you're married and you have kids and you have doing this and other jobs. It's nice to be able to have that time
It's
too.
a little relief.
It's nice.
Why'd you decide to leave? When were you like, I'm done?
Well, my second season, there was a couple reasons. I had a terrible second season, and we were in the height of the pandemic.
Terrible in what way? Like you're just fighting with people? Or?
Michael, I
Okay,
know
so
the ins
the
and the outs. He
women
doesn't.
tried to insinuate, well, more than insinuate, that I had. So I got married my first season on the show, actually, to my husband. We've been married for 6.5 years now, and my second season, they tried to insinuate that I cheated on him and had an affair, which was really, really shitty.
Like, mean.
And did you know
Like
that they were going
me.
to do this, or they
No,
just
I was
blindsided you?
totally
It was actually
blindsided.
cruel.
Okay.
And it also it was with a cast member who was on the show before that wasn't even, I met her only a couple times, whatever. It was a combination of, and my friend of 20 years was coming at me, who I was so shocked at how different she was on camera and off camera. And I felt very vulnerable that during the pandemic, how are we going to move forward filming? And then what would they do next? You know, my husband
They'd already tried to destroy your marriage.
yeah, and I was like, well, shit, they're not trying to get past this, like the reunion. A lot of the women weren't trying to resolve anything. So I thought, well, I'm not going to have any friends on this show anyway, except for Garcelle and Sutton. So I really felt like I wanted to be, how am I going to go on a show where everyone hates me except for, 2? And what more would they try to do to my marriage is so important, my family. So that was the reason why. And the pandemic, it was just such a weird time too, where it was an extra added being vulnerable. So it was a combination.
And the reunion was on Skype.
So, yeah,
or
we
Zoom,
did
right?
it. We were all like on a Zoom for the reunion.
Because it was the pandemic.
Why do you think they turned on you? Like what?
I think that they need, sometimes I think they feel they have to go after one person, which I think does a disservice, quite frankly, with the show and with the women. It's like, if you have something to say, okay, get past it and move on, and then fight about something else. I actually think it kind of gets boring when they just focus on one thing to fight about. But I don't know. It was I was that target that year. Now looking back, I get it. How some of the women, not all the women, are like that, but just how.
Do you watch any of the other franchises or shows? Do you watch the current show?
I've only seen a few episodes of this season of the Beverly Hills. I still have to catch up on that, but I do see a lot of the other cities of the other housewives. I love the franchise. That's why I actually went and did it. Yeah,
It's a great franchise. I do think though when they go so hard on someone, there's stuff going on in their life. I think that when you have something going on that you don't want anyone to look at, you project it.
I agree with you.
I think though when they have something in their life that's going on, they don't want the light on them, so they're like looking for anything they can look for. And I will say, your marriage to Aaron seemed really sweet throughout the whole show. It seems like you guys have a really good relationship.
We do.
How do you guys stay so solid in all this craziness?
We just are. That's the thing.
You guys
We
seem
really
like a
are.
sweet couple.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, we love each other so much. He's my best friend, and we're really close and connected. And even during all of that, people will ask me, like, what did he think about? He didn't even question anything, So we're just really connected. We just have a very strong relationship and marriage.
Yeah, you seem solid, but you guys also seem like you have a childlikeness to you, which is fun. You keep it flirty and fun. My dad always says a good relationship is like remain childlike.
We are just we have a sense of humor about stuff. And, even we go through ups and downs too, like everyone. And during the down, we try to have a sense of humor and we get through stuff. And, we love being with each other. We're very close.
So why did you decide, hey, we're going to go back on reality television and we're just going to let it rip?
I think because, it was a conversation too because of my daughters, making sure this wasn't just like, should we do this? And it was the next day we were filming.
Right.
It was a process of us really talking to the girls, making sure everyone was on board, who wouldn't do it, and figuring out then what the show would be, who would be, if the girls weren't going to be involved, like what would the show be, and if they are going to be involved, and how involved they would want to be. And it was just a family decision where we were like, yeah, let's do this. Let's have fun and
the girls
do it.
wanted to do it.
They wanted to do it.
They're ready.
They were ready.
Oh my God.
Now we'll see once it airs if they're ready. I'm just joking.
No, I think
it's a lot. And this is something that I've also talked to them about, is to be prepared. You can't prepare for certain things, but I just try to also prepare them, which I have for a long time with social media and stuff like that. But when this isn't them being on a show of, I'm showing up a couple scenes on Housewives, they are very much a main part of the show. So that was also something at their age I went back and forth with, quite frankly. I was like,
How old are they?
They're 19 and 20.
Okay, so they're adults. Yeah.
And then Eloise is 13. But it's more Sammy and Lola being 19 and 20. This age is where I worry about the comments or people's opinion and stuff like that. And
one of my most asked questions is, what prenatal am I taking? Well, it's the same prenatal that I have taken for all 3 of my pregnancies, and that is Ritual. I trust Ritual because it's traceable. I can see where the ingredients came from. I also think they thought of everything. They have vitamin A, C, D3, zinc, which helps support normal immune function. And then they have omega-3 DHA, which is really important if you're doing a prenatal. And this helps support fatty acid content of breast milk. And then they have biotin, which is awesome for your hair, and it also supports lactation. And every single capsule is designed to have a delayed release. So it makes it gentle on an empty stomach. It doesn't taste bad. There's like a citrus essence in the tab, so you can enjoy taking your multivitamins. This is the prenatal multivitamin. You cannot go wrong. You don't have to worry. What I like about this one is it takes the worry out of it. Like, I don't have to go Google 100 other vitamins. I know that this one is non-GMO. I know it's gluten and major allergen free. And most importantly to me, it's made traceable. The one that I take is essential for women prenatal. And I just feel like it's the best of the best. So on that note, let me give you guys a code. When it comes to pregnancy and postpartum support, you want products backed by research and transparency. Mom-founded Ritual puts in the work and shows you the proof. Get 25% off your first month for a limited time at ritual.com/skinny. That's ritual.com/skinny for 25% off your first month. I love a good body oil. And there's this one by Osea, and it's an algae body oil. It's their best-selling oil. It leaves your skin so silky soft. You will be glowing. It literally is the scent of summer. This is so popular, you guys, that one is sold every 30 seconds. I've been using the brand Osea for probably like 3 years. I have always been a fan of their mist. I love their face oil, but their body oil is the hit. It's like an iconic signature, natural citrus scent that features uplifting notes of mango, mandarin, grapefruit, lime, and even cypress. I think you guys will love this. I put it all over my stomach, my legs, and how I like to use it is I'll dry brush, and then I'll get in a freezing cold shower, and then I'll use the Skinny Confidential Body Sculptor with the oil after I get out. So basically my jam, I literally can do it in 5 minutes, is dry brush, cold shower, get out, put oil all over my body. Like I'm telling you, their algae body oil, can't go wrong. And then use the body sculptor to break up the cellulite on the back of my legs, and I am good to go. It's rich, it's never like very greasy, and it's clinically proven to improve skin elasticity. It's gonna like firm your skin. I notice it just like my skin looks more toned. Get healthy glowing skin for summer with clean vegan face and body care from Osea. Get 10% off your first order site-wide with code SKINNY at OseaMalibu.com. You'll get free samples with every order and free shipping on orders over $60. Head to OSEAMalibu.com and use code SKINNY. You get 10% off.
There is plenty of talk about ingredients that are in our food that are harmful for us, cleaning supplies, things that we should just not have in our environment that are disrupting our hormones, our health, and our way of life. But we don't talk nearly enough about our cookware and the things that we're actually cooking and preparing our food with. This is why Lauren and I could not be bigger fans of Caraway products. We have been using nothing but Caraway as cookware in our house for years now. We also had the founder of Caraway on this podcast to talk all about what they're doing to change cookware and update it so that it's healthy and not putting harmful chemicals into our systems. They're also aesthetically pleasing. They have all sorts of different SKUs and different colors to curate a design in whatever household you're trying to curate, and they all work. What I love about these products is they work. I can't stand getting cookware or cooking supplies that don't work. Having eggs and a bunch of stuff stick to the pans, not being able to cook the meat the right way. These heat up so nicely, and they actually get the job done. Not only do we use their cookware, but we also use their glass airtight storage. What's great about their non-toxic airtight containers is that they're non-corrosion resistant, temperature resistant, dishwasher safe, and built to last. No BPAs involved. Many of us cook and meal prep, and then we store our food in these plastic containers that are, again, leaking all sorts of harmful chemicals into our food that we ingest into our bodies. With Caraway, you don't have to worry about that. Of course, we have an incredible offer for our listeners and viewers. Spring into action with a healthy swap to Caraway. Our favorite cookware set will save you $150 versus buying the items individually. Plus, if you visit carawayhome.com/theskinny10, you can take an additional 10% off your next purchase. This deal is exclusive for our listeners and viewers, so visit carawayhome.com/theskinny10 or use code theskinny10 at checkout. Caraway, non-toxic cookware made modern.
Did you know that most toilet paper has formaldehyde and chlorine in it? It also has dyes. I was shocked to know, I found out this probably a year ago, that there's all of these crazy things in toilet paper. We're wiping our most intimate areas with this all day long. My daughter is using the toilet paper. My husband's using it. I went on this like wild goose chase to find the best toilet paper on the market. And while I found some brands that were great, I also wanted to create something better. And so that's what we've done at The Skinny Confidential. We have created a better choice. I was involved in every single detail of this toilet paper. We took out formaldehyde, we took out chlorine, we took out the dyes. We took out all the things that I didn't want my family exposed to. And then, of course, in our very Skinny Confidential way, we wrapped it in pink, as you can see. I wanted the experience of the delivery when you got it to be very romantic and pretty. Never are you excited about getting your monthly delivery of toilet paper, and I wanted to make you excited. So it comes in the most luxurious box. You open it, it's packaged cute, and it also has our little stamp on it. And you can put this on all of the rolls in your house and know that it's a better choice for you and your family. I am so passionate about this launch. We have been working on this launch for a long time. My team is so excited about it. It's shaking up the market and it's disruptive and it's everything that we want to bring to the table. So if you're looking for a better choice when it comes to your toilet paper, go to shopskinnyconfidential.com. Grab it now. We will sell out, but we're doing subscription. So I would definitely say to subscribe so you can make sure that you get it monthly. That's shopskinnyconfidential.com.
I was going to ask you, from your perspective, because you're one of the rare people that would have had both experiences, what's the difference between fame from doing movies and fame from reality TV? Like, is it similar? Is it different? Like,
with reality people, I think it's the same now, because with reality, people think they really know you because they see your home, they see intimate parts of your life. But at the same time, with anything, with movies, now with social media, because we give a glimpse of our life with that, people still think they know you. So I think fame in itself, when people know who you are, is that.
Like, did it feel like you had more attention from Housewives or more attention when you were doing the Bond stuff? Because I just imagine it like
was
might
different
be
because
different.
back with Bond, there was physical magazines that were tabloids
It's
everywhere.
like worldwide.
And but Housewives is also worldwide. So back when I did Bond, it was just a little different with magazines and being on covers and tabloids. And now here we are where it's like instant with social media. Things go viral in a second. There could be stories out about you where there is no, oh, we want to comment. They don't care. They'll just print it because it's so fast the way things are. So it's just a little different, but it's the same as far as not where people will recognize who you are. And that's the thing, my daughters grew up in the spotlight of being the daughters of two parents. Now they're on a show where it's them as themselves. Does that make? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that's the thing that I try to talk to them about.
I think though it's cool that they're able to get on a show like this and then they can kind of have control of where they want to take it.
Yeah.
Like you could really, when you have a reality platform, you can really do anything you want. As we've seen, Bethany Frankel launched her margarita line. People have launched books. They've launched it gives you a platform to do a lot of different things. So I think it's probably going to be amazing for them to kickstart whatever career they want.
I agree.
Yeah.
What have you cautioned them against, or like what have you told them to look out for?
Oh my God, she probably needs another hour to tell.
Probably. And then I'll help you with
jeez.
By the time your kids are my girls' age, can you
we're
imagine
gonna become Amish
where
when they're 12? Like, we're gonna just
Yeah.
we're gonna go move out to the
Can
middle
you
of the-
imagine
No, I don't
social media? Like it didn't exist when my girls were born.
But
I hope the
it's so
pendulum
different.
swings where people
It goes back.
are
You know
gonna,
what,
no,
though?
they're just going to want to be off their phone
I actually
more.
think that your
agree.
generation, because you guys just one day social media was just here, maybe had a more challenging time than our generation will with teaching kids. Because I'll tell you why. Like we'll go and speak at schools sometimes, and I always tell the kids when I'm speaking, like you have to decide if you're a consumer or if this is a tool. And if you're just mindlessly consuming, then that's not good. Like you got to use this as a tool. But the reason we know that is like it's been businesses in our life.
Right.
But my parents, for example, they would have no idea what to do to tell me anything about it. And so a lot of times they're just like, a lot of parents, not their fault, but they, gave access to certain things early because they didn't understand it. And it's not their fault, but they didn't have the context of like how to frame out how to use
Even
these
if
things.
you are able to, as a parent, to stop your kid going on social media, my kids were able to.
I don't think you can stop them.
You can't. When they were younger.
Sure.
When it's, I tried to stop that, and educate them. So I think, but if you're talking about when people are in the public, my generation, we grew up with being in the public when all of my peers that are in the public eye, it was tabloids. And then it moved to that. Whether it's tabloids or that, your private life is out there.
Yep.
So that's the thing that is trying to navigate that when your kids are in the spotlight.
I mean, I don't even like to go on TikTok. I post and I get off. I can't imagine a little girl's brain going on there. Like I'm like, how does like a 10-year-old?
I guess
go
what
on
I'm saying
TikTok?
is in a similar lane. Like I imagine because you guys were so public and you were in the tabloids, you're able to equip your daughters with what it will be like if that starts to happen.
We try to.
Where like if a parent has no experience with social media or they have no experience being in the
see what you're
tabloids, and
saying.
then the kid goes into it, it's like you don't have the tools to teach them anything. You know what I mean? Like because of the career that you've had, you're probably able to talk to your children in a different way than someone who hasn't had that experience.
But they pretty much don't listen.
Yeah, Michael, let's pull this clip when Zaza comes to you and says, Dad, I want to go on social media.
No, I know she's
I
gonna
can't
go.
wait. I can't.
They think they know what they're
I'm gonna
talking
get on her
about.
algorithm every single night, and there's like puppies and cats. And like
I'm gonna whisper in her phone like flowers and butterflies. Train her phone to like just show like good things on the feed. Listen, it's the wild, wild west out there. About your show that's launching March 4th. What can we expect? You got your own show on Bravo. Tell us all the things about it.
Okay, so it's a show with me, my kids, my husband, lots of familiar faces, friends, and it is just the crazy dynamic of our family. Blended family. We've got my ex-husband's other ex-wife. She's in it. It's just, we're a blended, crazy family.
Brooke's in it.
Brooke's in it.
And you and Brooke are like friends, huh?
Yeah, I've always tried to. We've had our ups and downs, and we do address that in the show too. But we try to keep things good and great and positive for the kids. We've had our time up and down, but we're really great for a while.
Cool.
Yeah, so it's good.
That's cool.
Charlie makes an appearance. He's great, and it's just our family.
Charlie makes an appearance on the show too. And
Yes.
Erica Jane was in the trailer.
Yes.
So that's going to be a big moment.
Yeah, Erica, Camille, Tori, my ex. I have two exes in there, Charlie and Patrick Muldoon. So it's just the one thing I will say is that I love that the girls do too is everyone's themselves. We are ourselves. This isn't. It's
No
us.
acting.
Yeah, it's us for better or worse. It's us.
What else are you working on? Anything we can support? It looks like you're also involved in a charity. Is there anything else that you want to pimp out?
Anything else I want to pimp out? You're funny. I want to promote our show, and I hope everyone watches it starting March 4th.
Also, I'm just saying your book is really good. If you guys are
Oh,
looking
you're
for a
sweet.
good biography,
Thank
it's a
you.
good book.
Taylor,
I
get
need to write
get
another
my
one.
Wild Things poster out so she
Yeah.
can sign it before she leaves.
Taylor's getting his out. And Taylor also has the Bond poster and the Starship Troopers poster. Denise,
Thank you, Denise.
where can
Thank
just pimp
you.
your Instagram out really quick? Tell us your Instagram handle.
Just Denise.
Denise Richards.
Okay. That's easy.
It's the one with the blue check.
Thank you for yeah, you look that up. There's probably a lot. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for
come on.
having me.